Hey everyone, JCS StarCraft here, bringing you Game 2 of the Best of 5 finals between MorroW and Kulas for the Go4SC number 34 Weekly Cup. Action getting started here on Kulas Ravine, and MorroW going to be spawning as the teal Terran, in the top left corner, or light blue if you prefer light blue, and Kulas going to be spawning as the yellow Terran in the bottom left hand corner. Unfortunately, I think that is really the only color you could call it. I guess you could also call it RGB no wait, it's a cross. I forgot actually the mix of colors that you do. If anyone knows the mix of colors, go ahead and shout it out. I'll put that in the caption. I think it's red, or red plus blue. That makes sense. No, it might not be. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Anyways, too much color wheel talk, not enough StarCraft 2 talk. Kulas, of course, a very strong player in StarCraft 2, currently ranked number 52 in the world according to SC2ranks.com, and also I think according to the official Blizzard European BattleNet guide, he was ranked in the top 30 or so on the European servers. MorroW is ranked something like 13 on the European servers, although he is currently a StarCraft 2 champion. I actually did find out that there is going to be a champion versus champion fight. Basically, the IEM champion MorroW versus the MLG Raleigh champion, which is Huck. So for 200 euros on the line, should be a great game. I think it's going to be cast by LZ Gamer, and it starts with either Insolence or In Control. One of those two, both of them very strong players. Anyways, it looks like in the last game though, MorroW requested that there weren't that many observers. This game looks like there are several, and some of them are just dropping out because they're causing all sorts of crazy lag. Kulas is just going to be establishing a pretty standard build right now, 12-13, and very large map, so, and neither player have really scouted at this point. Kulas is going to be going across. Is he going to touch the tower? No, he's not. Just going to run all the way up and going to get a lucky scout in right now. Should get first scout privileges, and MorroW looks like he's going to be doing the same. So same scouting pattern from both players, and MorroW going to be putting out that first Marine. Will we see a change in strategy between the two games? I don't know. Possibly, possibly not. Kulas Ravine is a very large map. They aren't across from each other. They are pretty far. They do share this gold, but you might be seeing some expansions out here to possibly keep things away and split armies, as if you do run an army out to attack this one, your main and naturals are pretty vulnerable. But most likely we're going to see the naturals being mined out first before anything happens, if the game indeed goes that late. Second racks is going up, and MorroW is going to be breaking down his rocks. Meanwhile, looking over at Kulas, it looks like he's going to be getting that second refinery. A late scouting reaper is coming out for him this game. Didn't see that last game, so maybe he saw MorroW and thought MorroW's pretty cool. I should try to do a little bit of that. Looks like he is going to be going 1-1-1 yet again. Might change things up, but we shall see. MorroW still favoring another rack. Not going to go for the fast expand this time, like he did last game. That actually did prove very advantageous to him. And this Reaper going to be coming in to do some sort of scouting right now and seeing what's up at the base. Not going to be able to do very much damage, as there is a small little army right here, and might be running into some trouble. Does see the rocks being blasted away. Is he going to land? No, he's just going to see that the rocks are going down and try to gain some sight on what his opponent is up to. Saving that scan, because ultimately throwing a scan down, I think, costs something like 270 minerals for the lost mule that you throw down. So if you can scan with any other units, it's typically a little bit better. Plus you can save the scan in case there's any sort of early Banshee push or anything like that. So it looks like a reactor and tech lab going down for MorroW, and just going to be pumping out units right now as he's blasting away at the rocks. And on the flip side there, MorroW is just like, I don't need a Reaper. I can just run in with my SCV at this point, really. It looks like a tank being researched already for Kulas. No starport yet. Pretty interesting. So a little bit different right now, and getting the reactor down as well. Saw that MorroW is going to go with an early bio push right here, so really needs to gain some units to do something there. The Reaper does sneak by and might go out. There are some SCVs coming down to do some damage here as well. I don't know how much that initial SCV saw for MorroW, but I think he just saw there was a single racks and factory, so nothing in the air, and it's just going to come in, going to already set up to do his bunker. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Costa's bunker. This is MorroW's bunker right here. Pretty much going to go uncontested. Unfortunately, was temporarily blocked right there. There are 2 tanks out right now. Siege tank is not yet researched. Cost is bringing out his SCVs, which can be very effective in damaging units and just holding them off while drawing fire, although his economy definitely is going to suffer for this. Will this bunker finish in time? The SCV is getting blasted, and it does not have enough power, so MorroW has to retreat. I think maybe if that bunker was thrown down immediately right when MorroW came in, it might have finished and might have made a little bit of difference, although there were a ton of units out on the field and the tanks could have been repaired by the SCVs as well. But looking at the income tab, very quickly, it was a little bit successful for MorroW because he was able to take out some of the harvesters, eking out a small advantage right now and looking like he's really getting ahead. So just going to try to eke out that advantage the entire game as SCV production does not stop. So for any reason you lose your SCVs, it's kind of like losing pawns in chess at the pro level. Not very good, especially when you are in a mirror match. MorroW going to be blasting away at these rocks. Not entirely, still working on this one. This lone marauder's fault. No, he has a friend now. It's the Marine is going to come in and help him out. And then they're going to go down and scout out the Zonaga watchtower. So Kosh just pumping out tanks. Looks like he's going to go with the old Brood War strategy. Marines and tanks pumping out everything. And not too worried about anything crazy from his opponent at this point, who has gone mostly bio. And it looks like MorroW will be sneaky. Is taking the upper right hand expansion. Now this is kind of interesting because the Reaper from Koss did cite the rocks being blown out right here. So I think Koss at this point might be thinking, hey, you know, he's trying to go for an early expand up here, and I'm probably going to try to take that down somehow. MorroW actually doing a great job right now, breaking down the rocks between everything so that he can run his forces in between both bases, although that distance is still incredibly far. But maybe if he stimmed twice or did something crazy like that, it would work. Although Koss is coming here with a very menacing force right now, 4 siege tanks and a bunch of Marines. Looking at the supply count, MorroW is ahead because he is just pumping out pure bio units at this point and catching them a little bit off guard. Unfortunately, here comes the siege, but will it be enough at this point? It looks like, oh, everything just going down, unfortunately, as the focus fire came out from MorroW and just pushing him back. Koss forced to retreat at this point. MorroW did have more units in that battle and just, I guess, microed that much better. I actually want to go back and replay that just to see what happened there. But Koss now going to be taking his natural as well. I'm very curious to see whether or not later in the game Koss is going to try to break down these rocks, run up here and go, what the heck happened? Why are these rocks broken? But I think MorroW is just trying to play tricks on him and doing a good job of it. Now it has his Zonaga watchtower with the siege tank here, making anything that walks by explode on contact unless there are upgrades for those Marines, which he doesn't have yet. He has to build another bunker. This nothing, no tech lab down, so he can't even research that. These Marines are pretty raw and exposed. The Banshee going to be coming out and wants to take out this siege tank, of course, but those Marines are going to just fire right back at it. Banshee coming in, Marines are firing right back at it, and I don't think it will be enough. MorroW at this point is going for more tanks as well. And it looks like Koss trying to pump out a few more Marines, a few more Banshees too. Doing a good job microing though, a very good job microing, and MorroW trying his very best to take it down to 2 hit points. One shot would kill it, but Koss does micro it out in time. The looks like the tank did too much fire, but most of those Marines did go down to this Corporal Banshee now with 5 kills, and MorroW is happily saturating his upper right hand expansion. Not going to be bothered there for a while, as I think his opponent is just going to focus on wiping everything out here. So, going back to the game, a little bit of a lull right now as both sides are bulking up. Koss finally broke down his rocks, so going to be taking his expansion right now. I think he fears that he's a little bit behind. He did see the rocks on MorroW's side being blasted on very early. His opponent did fast expand in the last game, so in this game, without too much sight, has he scanned is the big question. I actually cannot tell if he has scanned at this point. Sensor tower now going down for MorroW as well. And it looks like another command center being built by MorroW. Maybe he's just going to lift off and shift his entire base over which would highly confuse his opponent. If only you could lift off supply depots as well. MorroW going to be sending in this lone SCV to scout things out. Sacrificial SCV. Going to get blasted in 5, 4, 3, 2, explode. And so not able to see too much of what's going on. Might have to use a scan at this point. The Banshees are going to be coming in and trying to do some harass right now. Koss is like, where are the... See, I think he was here thinking that something would happen. Also trying to run away and use the clip to his advantage. But it looks like he's wondering where the heck his opponent is right now. And Koss, let's see, he hasn't sighted anything. Knows that his opponent has expanded for sure. Knows that MorroW has done that, but where is he? And I think right now really wants to try to scout it out as well. Banshee does go down, so Koss at this point wants to find out where that other where that other expansion is. MorroW pulling slightly ahead right now. His third base is ready to go, but he just has not lifted it off just yet. And both players are evening out a little bit. Those Banshees did a great job taking out the Marines, and great micro from Koss at that point. Securing down the Xel'Naga Watchtower. The obvious channel of attack for both players was this back area, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. MorroW is going to be trying to hold the center as best he can. Right now, MorroW really forcing Koss to choke down into his area, cannot test out the rest of the map really, and is just turtling the best that he possibly can. So, should be pretty interesting to see how MorroW eventually tries to break through this tank hold, the siege hold of Koss. Might be trying to drop on the inside. I'm always curious to see how Terran players break down other Terran players, because it's that difficult sometimes to really break through. So more tanks going out to reinforce, and just a good mix of MM and M plus tanks for Koss at this point. But there are more. MorroW does have more tanks, and was he throwing down more Raxes at this point? Just been pumping out tanks after tanks after tanks, I think, from that one factory. And tons of mules going down. Just looking at the supply, 50 over 42, and now going to start saturating his third base as well. The sensor tower will detect any sort of movement coming in, as well as whether or not Koss will even think about taking this gold expansion, which I don't think he will. It's a little bit too risky right now, and it looks like a big drop is going to be coming in from Koss. His siege tanks are ready to defend the base in case of a counterattack. So here comes the big drop in the back, but there are missile turrets everywhere. And they are going to take out those medevacs, possibly not in time. A ton of tanks down on the ground for Koss. Nothing here to hit yet, and a massive retreat from MorroW to reestablish at his base. Scans are going down at this point. SCVs are coming out to try to hold them and draw the fire away. The tanks have siege, but unfortunately all the focus fire going down. Too late to siege for Koss, and everything just falling apart. Looking at the units lost tab really quickly. Koss, wow. From that attack alone, GG's. And wow, just that's really interesting. Didn't even scout out this expansion, but thought that maybe his opponent was there. And I'm a little at a loss for words. I thought he could have held out for a bit longer, but I think he just a lot of respect for his opponent and knew that his opponent probably was all the way over the map and he was being contained at that point. So great game from both players. MorroW just showing a lot of dominance right now in both Terran Zerg and Terran. So this has been JC of StarCraft signing off.